Okay, let's take this further. We have our components, but our component simply alerts to the user that he's finished watching the video. But before that, what we want to do is actually make an Ajax request to complete that lesson for the user for that series, and then we display this message to the user. Okay, so let's create a method called complete lesson on this component, and this method is going to use Ajax to fire that request. So let's import Ajax. Okay, so just to review, in our web.php, we have that post request that completes the lesson, and we need to pass in the lesson ID. We already tested this, so we know it's working. So right here, all we need to do is say ajax.post, pass in the correct URI, series, complete lesson, and looks like we need to pass the lesson ID. So I'm gonna change this to backticks, so we can concatenate the lesson ID, and then right here I'll just echo out this .lesson.id. Okay, so that's the URL, and then we need to pass in the data for this post request, which is an empty object, and then we'll say that then when we receive a successful response from our server, what we want to do is now call our display video alert method. Okay, so right here we're gonna say this dot display video alert. Okay, and then at the top in our mounted hook, rather the bottom, when the player listens to unended, rather than calling display video alert, it's going to call this dot complete lesson. Okay, so we listen to that event when the lesson is completed, and once we hear that event, we call our complete lesson method. The complete lesson method fires an Ajax request to this endpoint, which is going to complete that lesson for our user. And once that request is successful, we call the display video alert method, which is going to tell the user you just completed the lesson or the series. Okay, so let's check this out in the browser. I'm just gonna inspect right there, hard refresh, and right now we haven't completed this lesson, so I'm gonna play it, and I fast forwarded it to the end, so it actually fires that request, and automatically we see we have here you have completed this series. So I click on OK, and let's check out our network to see if any request was fired, and right here we discover that the request was actually fired. So I'm just gonna expand this a little. We have that request to the complete lesson for lesson 2, and if we preview, we have the status OK that our server responded to us. Okay, so now I'm going to refresh this page, and if you check out, we have the completed message right here, which means this lesson was completed. Okay, so let's go ahead and also try to complete this video. Okay, I'm gonna play it, fast forward it, and you see here you completed this lesson because the Ajax request was fired. That's the response. If I click on OK, it refreshes, goes to the next, but now all 3 have been completed. Okay, so the completion status for this series is 100%. Great job.